Okay, people, it's podcast time. What a crazy, crazy, crazy week. We got tons of stuff happening. A really crazy school board meeting we'll chat about. I did get a hold of that Chris guy that I talk about all the time, and he gave me some insight on some of this getting people kicked off of ballots thing. So we'll talk about that. I don't know. We'll talk about Iran. We'll talk about Israel. We'll talk about Jordan. I don't know. There's shit blowing up everywhere. You might as well talk about it. Almost Agreement at gmail.com. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go to the website, almostagreement.com. Check out what we're going on there. Go to your favorite podcast writer on all those things that you, whichever one you like. We're probably there. Like, friend, share, follow. Text us to your friends. Put a 5-star review in. Whatever you can do to support the show to get more stuff going on. April 14th, if you haven't put it on your calendar already, is the mayoral debate hosted by me. And it's going to be interesting. Oh, yeah, Betsy put out her handbook for the future. We'll look at that among other things. So anyway, it's almost here. People are going to get a show started shortly. Hi, buddy.
Hey.
What's up? What's new with you? Tell me something exciting that happened to you this week.
Nothing exciting.
Liar. I know something exciting happened to you this week, but I'll get back to you later. We got this other voice in the crowd. It's Jim, George, John, Joe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's John. I haven't been here for a while, so I'm
pretty sure John is the name we're going with. So John is in the house to give us some updates on the happenings at the middle school, since he apparently doesn't have to do it for the next 10, 11 days, 12 days?
9 days.
Yeah, 9. You know what? You're the one learning math, not me. Leave me alone. So, yeah. Anyway, it's spring break, everybody. Show me some boobies.
What?
Spring break, woo!
Yeah, spring break, yay.
Yeah, that's what I said. Spring break, woo.
I'm agreeing with you.
And I'm saying it again, because woo! Every time you say spring break, you got to go woo!
Woo.
Anything exciting planned for spring break, buddy?
I mean, not really.
I guess I could ask myself that question and say, nah.
I mean,
it's manual labor. I'm putting you to work.
I know.
Dig a hole, fill it up. Dig a hole, fill it up.
I mean, truth be told, I am going... Because, for a bit of context, for anyone listening, I'm a part of my school's musical, and so I'm planning to do just... other than said manual labor that he wants me to do, I'm probably going to spend a decent sum of my time practicing for that, as it's after spring break, unlike most.
I know, it's pretty crazy that you guys that you didn't do the performance. Like, you've been working, and then you're going to take 9 days, 10 days off, and then do a couple more weeks of performances, and then get back to then go put on, or a couple more weeks of rehearsal, and then it's performance time. It's going to be pretty nuts as soon as you come back. Yeah. It's going to be hot and heavy. I guess, well, you do have a rehearsal on the weekend coming back in. I am trying to mentally prepare for you guys to handle, which I think is genius on Knox County Schools' part, of putting spring forward the weekend before spring break.
Yeah,
so we have a whole week of internal clock to adjust.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, isn't like spring forward and fall backward, or whatever the second one's called, don't they like induce heart attacks and stuff for older people?
I mean, yeah, some people it stresses them to the point of heart attacks, sure.
All right.
Yeah, I want to say like the 2 day changes in the fall and spring.
It's usually the spring's the worst one because of how it it's that you get this weirdism of losing the hour that messes with people more than the fall back's usually pretty chill. Most people are pretty chill about it. It's like, oh, I just get an extra hour of sleep. Sweet.
Right. But both of those days are kind of like the highest occurrence of car accidents and like heart attacks.
Yeah. And we've talked about this like every time we talk about them. Like, I don't care so much. The spring one doesn't make that big a difference, but the fall back one makes a huge difference in drop off and pick up. Drop off, especially for the elementary school kids. Because when we were in elementary school in like starting in mid-late October, it's still dark at 7:40, 7:45 when we were doing drop-off.
Right.
And so you got kids out on the side of the roads waiting on buses in the dark. And then when we do the fall back, that moves that up, and so it's daylight for that pickup time, and so I appreciate about it. I don't know that I guess we could just stay standard time? Which one's daylight savings? Is it the summer portions it's savings, or is the... Because one is standard and one is the savings, whatever it is. Anyway, if we just stayed on this one, I think we'd be okay. Although I will say that the spring one, I do like the sun's still up after around dinner time, so we can do things after dinner outdoors, which is nice.
Yeah. Which
we can do over the summer no matter what, but in this time of year, it's a little bit of a shift. So anyway, that's my piece on daylight savings time. So, yeah. Anyway, you wanted to sit in, buddy. What's on your mind that you feel is appropriate to share with my audience?
I'm not the best at just coming up with things to say in front of people. So if you just want to ask,
there's nobody here.
Well, yeah, but in front of hypothetical people, and plus,
they're real people, but they're not here.
Well,
you're not in front of them. Is all I'm saying.
I thought we were paying for some bots.
What?
Maybe we're probably half of our listeners aren't even real people. You're right. No, I don't know. Sam, you got anything that you wanted to touch on topic-wise this week that you found this interesting? I mean, we could stick around some school stuff, which is kind of weird.
I'm trying to remember. There was a couple random stories about legislation going through the State House.
Yeah. My girl Cat Bike was at the State House speaking not on behalf of the school board, but in line with what the school board had said on their agenda on the item of, please don't make us do this, register, make sure we have registration of
checking citizenship.
Yeah, of citizenship for all students thing. Have you heard about that? Is that a topic amongst you and your friends at school?
No.
So the state government of Tennessee is looking at introducing a bill that will require all school systems in the state, Knox County schools, which you are a student of as part of the registration and paperwork process at the beginning of the year to obtain citizenship information. So the United States Supreme Court says that any kid who is physically in the United States is entitled to go to public schools, whether they're here legally or not.
So basically, the United States is saying that we have to go to school, but that other thing is saying that if you're illegal, you can't.
No, it's just saying the narrative from the people in the State House that are trying to get this bill passed in Tennessee is that we're trying to make sure we want to collect data and get better understanding of how many students are here illegally that aren't part of the quote unquote tax getting taxed to help pay for these school systems and this, that, and the other. Their argument is for data's sake, and it gives local school boards the ability to charge tuition to non-resident students, but that's as far as it goes. It doesn't say they can't go to school. It says, we just want to know where you're from before you're allowed to come to school so we can have data.
I thought there was one talk of trying to actually charge non-citizens.
The current one gives the option for local school boards to charge tuition.
Yeah.
Couldn't that theoretically lead to ICE? Because they look at
yes, absolutely, 100%. That is the non-narrative. Some of the non-narrative. So narrative being the story that they're telling to get this thing through, where what they actually want out of it is stuff like that.
So basically, they just want to deport people who are illegal.
I mean, there's the state of Tennessee is making a stated effort to support the Trump administration's deportation policy. And I don't know, we've talked about this a number of times in the shows. I have complicated feelings on it. We're not a nation if we don't have borders, right? The borders are what define us as a physical nation.
Yeah.
Every nation on the planet has rules for who is and who isn't allowed in and why you can and can't come to our country.
I mean,
whether that's to visit or to work or whatever.
I find that funny, though, as in some places in Europe, borders will literally go halfway through homes and stuff. And
yes,
yeah, it's just kind of crazy because
we have that here too. There's a house in it's in New York and Ontario at the same time. I think the whole house is actually technically in New York, but the actual the international border pops up around the back of this house.
Oh, there's like a library.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ones. Yeah, there's a library. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's definitely, that's in Niagara or whatever.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah. Like literally half of the library is in one country.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
It's true, and it's weird, and there's different. But I mean, that's just it, though. Is like we have a lot of like there are treaties and agreements between nations about all sorts of different stuff, and you know, if we're going to have a border and we're going to say we're a what's it called a sovereign nation that we get to make our own choices and stuff.
Yeah.
One of those choices is who we let in and who we don't.
Yeah,
it's standard. There are many countries around the world who their immigration policy is like, well, no criminal background, no this, no that, and they have like a test basically to determine whether you're going to be a net asset, meaning you're going to come and work and pay taxes and do good things for us, or not. And if you don't pass that test, you don't get in. Doesn't matter.
I mean, that makes sense.
I think so too. And so the problem is, it's like, okay, well, there are some people that are absolutely cheating the United States immigration system, and there have been many people over the decades that have done so.
Yeah.
You know, and so what's the solution? Like, okay, we failed. They're already in here, so they get everything that being a citizen comes along with, or do we try to round them up and return them to where they came from and let them come in through the process like everybody else is supposed to? Now, part of the problem is the process is all screwed up, and it changes every couple of years depending on who the president is. But at the same time, there is a process to it, and it's odd to me that we reward people who cheat the process.
I mean, yeah, that's like awarding a student who cheated on a test by, like, I don't know, putting notes in the inside of a label of like a drink or whatever. That's like, oh, like the teacher finds out after the test is over, and
right, catching a kid doing it and then letting keep the grade they got while cheating.
Yeah, I personally don't think that's all right. And so I don't necessarily think they should entirely get deported, although I also understand why they'd get deported, because, I mean, it's just they're not there legally. Why should we let them stay? Along with another thing, which is going back to ICE, is that I've heard online that recently ICE has been, for some reason, been deporting Native Americans. Now, I don't know if this is
that one.
I don't know if that's true.
I mean, they've deported like regular old-fashioned U.S. citizens too.
Well, yeah, but it's not for it's for like a reason closer to, in their eyes, being illegal or something, from what I've heard. Although I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that one. I'll have to keep my ears out, because I wouldn't put it past them.
I've heard a little bit of that.
At this point, I wouldn't see.
There's some that just have like their tribal papers,
right? Which
I think
theoretically is not U.S. citizenship. Like, technically, there is some weird like.
No, they're still U.S.
There is some weird sovereign. There is some sovereign Indian territories or Indian statehood or whatever territory.
Some sovereign laws in the area that's prescribed as part of that their territory.
I personally,
some laws that are allowed there that aren't allowed.
Right.
I think like local cops don't have like reservations. Like reservations have their own police force.
But I mean, it's like how do they get away with gambling in North Carolina, which is where it's not legal to gamble? Because they're not subject to state law, at least. Isn't that the whole thing with some of the stuff that they do on reservations that they can't do?
Yeah.
Wait, is it just not legal to gamble at all, or is it not legal to gamble?
I don't know the depths of North Carolina state law, but there's the Cherokee Hotel and Casino in Cherokee, North Carolina, which is on the Cherokee reservation.
Right.
The state of North Carolina, at least, and I don't know, it may have changed recently, but historically the state of North Carolina is like, they've got a lottery, but they might do sports betting now like a bunch of states are doing, but historically they never allowed gambling. But Cherokee's been there, the Cherokee Casino's been there for, I don't know, 50 years now, something like that. It's been there for a hot minute. I
mean, yeah, I personally think that having only tribal papers shouldn't necessarily count as U.S. citizenship, but I don't think they should get deported. I personally think it should just mean you can do, like for that casino or whatever that you were just talking about, I think you'd have to have like tribal papers or something of that area to use it.
Right, but that's not how it works. It's us round eyes go up there and, or what is it? What do they call us? Round eyes, what the Asian people call us. Whatever. Us white folks will go onto the reservation to gamble because they want us to. That's the point. The whole point is that's a money making. That's an economic stimulus for them as a people.
Well, then make it to where they can buy citizenship of or like temporarily.
No, I mean by U.S. law is if you were born within the borders of this nation, which includes foreign nations that are technically American soil, like U.S. embassies or foreign military bases, you are born a citizen of this nation no matter what.
Yeah.
And so anybody, any tribal citizen is a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I agree.
Per the Constitution. However, there is some interesting stuff. It seems like they don't have the county clerk's office isn't as up to speed on what's going on the reservation versus the general public. There may be some lack of information management there that gets a U.S. birth certificate and or others. I mean, maybe some tribes might refuse it. Might not go through the process of bothering getting a birth certificate from their state or something like that. Who knows? I mean, it doesn't make them non-citizens. It just makes them a unique subset of the citizenship that certainly, because the point of deportation is to return you to where you came from.
Yeah.
So if you have your tribal papers and you're getting deported back to your reservation, which is inside the United States, seems kind of dumb.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I believe ICE would do that because it's kind of dumb. They do some dumb stuff.
If I'm not mistaken, your view on ICE and many other people's view on them is that they're kind of stupid.
That's what I've been saying today, at least. Yeah, I think there's they're lacking some institutional credibility right now. Maybe a kind phrasing for it.
All right.
Well,
DHS secretary got fired.
Yeah,
or got reassigned.
Yeah,
to like a special envoy.
Some new position that didn't exist a week ago. So she's like, it feels to me like she's getting quietly put out to pasture.
Yeah.
She keeps the job, which probably keeps her some level of immunity from some of her issues. Since she's still technically the employee of the executive branch. It's probably what it is. It probably keeps some sort of like legal protection for her because she's still under the employ, but she's not in that seat anymore. Oh, just got to get Pam Bondi out of there, and we're going to slowly work our way to a functional government. Not really. This guy that's replacing Christie ain't no walk in the park either.
Yeah, he's a little character.
Something that sorry. Were you guys
go ahead,
done?
shift it over. Yeah, we're good.
Sorry.
That's enough ice for a couple weeks for me.
Something that me and my friends at school personally all agree with is that there should be a technical age limit, as if I'm not mistaken, it isn't the bottom limit to where you have to be at least 35
to be an actor, to do
the
cartwheels in the
president.
street.
Sorry, the president.
Yeah, it's 35. U.S. You have to be born inside the continent or inside the United States, and 35. I think that's about it.
Yeah,
there's a couple of rules, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I personally, along with my friends, we all believe that there should also be an age gap, so like you can't be over 60 or so.
Whew. Okay, I ain't mad at it. I love it. You know, I'll tell you what. Next time your friends are talking about it, you say, then you need to make sure your parents are voting for people that aren't fucking old.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. Like most of the past 3 or 4 presidents, if I'm not mistaken, have all been like over the age of 60 or 70.
Yeah, and when we got to the most recent election, either one would be 80 before they finish their term.
Yeah,
or over 80 before they finish their term.
Past 2 presidents. I don't think George W. was that old when he got in.
Obama wasn't old. Obama was 60, 50, 56.
No, not when he went in.
When he went in, no,
I don't think so.
Was
he was? I mean, he was one of the younger ones we've had in a while. GW was.
I would say late 40s, maybe early 50s for Obama.
Yeah, I mean it's a tragic state of affairs, and and I agree with you because it's like I love my parents, and we're not talking about my parents on here. I'm just making the note.
Yeah,
I love my parents, but in many conversations I've had with my parents, their view of the world and the way the world works is not the same as my view and the way the world works.
And your view,
and it's not whether my view is right. Well, it's not even. It's my view is more right than theirs because I'm in the world. They're both retired. They don't work. They don't have to. They don't have the same amount of responsibility and functions as I do, which is normal. They live their life. They did their work. They get to retire.
Yeah, I mean,
good for you. Yeah. But your opinions on, like, your retirement view of, especially of the working world and how much government is involved in jobs and job creation and job loss and pay rates and stuff like that, it doesn't apply to you guys anymore. But yet, what's the average age? We've talked about this on the show before, Sam.
Isn't the average voting age like 79 to 81?
The average voting age is not, like, the highest bracket of voters in Knox County is over 55.
Yeah.
And it usually constitutes more than 50% of the total votes are over 55.
Yeah, because they, going back to your parents being retired, they have the time.
It's not a time thing. That's the worst. That's the worst BS excuse. The reason young people don't vote, 18 to 50, don't vote, is because they don't pay attention. They don't feel like they should because they don't know what's going on, and. Or if they do vote, they vote blindly because they don't pay attention to. They don't know anything of what's going on. Part of that's because they don't have time to pay attention, not because they don't have time to vote. Because they're raising kids, they're at work, they're hustling around. Maybe they're partying a little too much. Whatever. And for me, and this is true for me because I didn't really get into paying attention to this till I was over 40, is that understanding the effects of what government does.
Yeah.
Because what we and again, I'll blame my parents' generation on this here in the state of Tennessee, especially, is I don't think they do a good job teaching you guys in school how this works.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Because if they did a good job teaching you how it works, maybe you'd be more curious and or involved in paying attention to how it works. Because I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. You guys you're off of school for election day, which I think is stupid. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't be at school. Because
they're adults who are unauthorized in this school building.
They're not wandering freely about the building.
I know, but still.
I don't know if your school is a voting place or not. Your old school was, and when I go vote there, you go into the gym and you go out the gym side door. I'm not wandering the halls being like, oh, hey, there's a third grader. Let's go see what they're doing. Like, it's containable. It's not that big a deal.
I mean, yeah.
But maybe you guys going through the school day, seeing the adults participating in the action of voting might make you curious and be like, hey, that's a cool thing. Maybe I should pay attention to what's going on in there.
True.
Maybe that would help inspire you to be more politically active.
I mean, I think they don't want us to be really politically active as like a.
Why do you say that?
As like a 7-year-old, because, I mean, in elementary school, which is where at least I know you could vote. Everyone, like the oldest students there were like 10 or 11. And I'd say that's around where most people just naturally start learning more about the government at our age, or at least who are willing to try.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I think they should and somewhat do start teaching. Now, not much at all, but they do somewhat start teaching and pushing towards us more things about the government and how it works. But, I mean, I think in elementary school, the reason why they wouldn't want you to see that is because they want to keep you in that little safe bubble.
They can keep you in that safe bubble, and you wouldn't really see it other than there would be outside in the front where the people are coming to go, and whatever, yeah. See, I don't know. That's even that though. It's like this is civic duty at its greatest. It should be it ought to be a very coveted, everybody should want to see that in action. Like, it's important.
So everybody should get the day off.
Something I find kind of stupid as well about the schools, which I'm pretty sure this is what is it? In the entirety of the U.S., although I don't entirely know, is that we have to do the Pledge of Allegiance every day.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't really think that's smart.
Why not?
It's like, yeah, sure, we live in that country, but doesn't mean we like your decisions entirely. It's just a semi-good country to live in, and is where a lot of people do live in, partially because of that.
I don't know how to answer this. I don't know how to to respond to that. If you want, do some deep dive, find some YouTubers, preferably ones that you have some reference for being honest YouTubers about the origins of the United States school system, like why we have a school system, why it works the way it does, and that'll answer your question.
All right.
And it's true across the board. That's one of the issues I have with schools at large. So, all right, man. You got anything else? And we're gonna bid you adieu.
I thought I did, although I kind of forgot because sometimes I have the memory of a goldfish,
Which is actually pretty good technically, but whatever.
Oh,
That's a common phrase. People know what you're saying when you say it, but the truth is not that actually goldfish have very good.
well,
memories.
then I sometimes have the memory of a peanut.
Sure, I don't think peanuts have memories. They might. I don't know anymore, man.
It's 2023.
Trees talk to each other.
Oh yeah,
with fungus.
Oh yeah, don't you know what? Apparently, trees. I've heard online that trees scream whenever they are cut down in a frequency that we as humans aren't able to hear. So
I don't know about that one. I do know that there are some trees that can react to sound.
I mean, just think about it. We know trees and plant life are living. So what if trees and plant life can actually talk to each other and just is not in a frequency we can hear?
I mean,
and so
because you quickly have to drop down a rabbit hole of the evil that is you, that you don't want to do.
True. I mean,
I guess plastics are cool because the animals are long dead that we use to make plastics.
Yeah.
Or the trees, or whatever the living thing was that created the petroleum that we use to make plastics.
I think it's mainly plant matter.
They've been dead for a long time, so we don't have to feel guilty about killing them because, a giant asteroid hit Mexico and killed them for us.
I mean, yeah.
Well, all right, man. I just appreciate you stopping in tonight.
Yeah, sorry. Another thing that's completely off topic, but if you really think about it, although we are in fact destroying a world with how much greenhouse gases we're producing and all that.
Fake news.
And all that
Fake news. Your liberal teachers teaching you about greenhouse gases.
No, that's not. If you really think about it, we're less killing the world and more killing ourselves. Think about the asteroid that at this point we know killed the dinosaurs, if I'm not mistaken, or even if it was a humongous volcano. Think about how much gases and how much problems that would have produced.
Oh, it was millions of years to get it to get things to quote unquote return to normal and livable. Yes.
Yeah, and so I think and now this isn't as it hasn't that theory and thought process of we're killing the Earth. It still does still a lot of people say it, although I don't think as much people say it. And I think part of that is because they've kind of realized that the Earth is a lot more resilient than we take it for.
Listen, we'll die. All the plants and animals that we love around us will die. Oh, yeah. The Earth will survive. The Earth has very, 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 very little care for any of the beings on it. It'll figure it out. It's fine. Now, will your kids or your grandkids have a problem? Probably.
I mean, yeah. I wish housing
we have
prices
we have
were
cool, smart
cheaper.
scientists. They'll figure some stuff out. That's they've got buildings in Asia that are just giant air filters.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. All right, man. Well, it's good to see you.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you again in some future episode.
Probably.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, John, Joe, Jim, whatever his name was, stepping in. Interesting. Fun take on stuff in general. That was a good one.
Yeah, look it up. Obama was 47 when he was elected, and G.W. Bush was 54.
54? I didn't think he was that old. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That old or that young?
G-Dub?
Yeah.
I thought he was closer to 50.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was, he was definitely getting his
pepper when he got.
He was close to getting his senior coffee. I mean, G-Dub and Obama, they showed it. The year in being a president for a year is 6 years or whatever.
What's happened to most of them? When you see when they take pictures
Except for
at the
Trump.
beginning and the end.
Sort of, except some of the makeup's starting to not be able to cover up anymore.
Yeah.
But, so I emailed the old Chris Davis today because Jesse and I were talking about it pre their show. Because we talked about it last week, and I asked them before, and I was really confused, and I wanted some clarification. And I asked Scott and Jesse about it today, and they're like, I actually don't know the correct answer to that. And Jesse said I was going to email Chris Davis about it myself to get some clarification before we ran a story, because there are two other Republican candidates that got taken off the ballot by the county party. And let me pull up the email from Chris Davis so I can remember facts correctly, because, facts are important if you're going to talk about it on the shit. So there was Parsons and Bayer were pulled, were bona fides were challenged and removed from the Republican primaries. Bayer was running for a commission seat. I don't know what Parsons was running for. I threw away my candidate list the other day because I was cleaning my desk off. And so they're removed from the ballot. And so they're literally removed from the ballot. So it doesn't matter that it's not that they're removed from the primary ballot, they're removed from the whole thing. They can go fill out the paperwork because they already have petition signed to be a write-in candidate. But that's it. So had
they still write in under the R, or they have to be an I?
I mean, you're a write-in. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Whatever you write on it as the person voting for them in your write-in
Sure.
on the ballot. But had this group succeeded on the Larson J thing, he is off the ballot. That seems kind of crazy to me. I don't know. I'm not sure how. I get it. I don't get it.
But that was the state party that decided that.
Right, but it's the same effect.
How come the county party couldn't have decided that?
Don't know.
I wonder why they didn't appeal to the county party if they're a little looser with their kickouts.
Okay, a little bit more aggressive with their kickouts, maybe the word. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Because I think, like we said last week, the point was not to actually get anything done. It was just to make the story.
Yeah.
Just to make the story go. So, yeah, I was interesting. That was an interesting little factoidal tidbit just to know is that I guess I'll follow up with him, or I'll follow up with Jesse to follow up with him before Jesse writes the story about it this week about this Parsons and Bayer that got removed. I'll try to follow up with Chris Davis to get clarification, a further clarification on.
Were you just asking the process of?
Yeah, it was a timing thing, because I didn't think about it when in the original email to ask the timing thing. Had it been before the petition return deadline, would they have to get a new petition and get it filled and then return as an independent, or could they just remove the Republican from their original petition and go to independent?
Yeah.
And so was that a strategic move on their part, if they got lucky enough to pull it off, that it gave Larson no options? So we'll see. I don't know. I'll see if I remember to ask Chris about that in follow-up. Or if, Chris, if you're listening, you can just go ahead and email me, almostagreement@gmail.com. You know how to get me. But the really interesting one is Kat Bike had two news items this week. Kat Bike's my District 4 school board member. She's a Democrat. She is currently running to keep her seat. She went to the State House and pitched, spoke in the subcommittee or whatever that this, documentation bill was in, and saying it was stupid. Please don't do it. Which that's its own thing. But the big one is that at the school board meeting this week, it's been a couple of weeks now. It's been a while now that this has been a story, but the terminus of the story came this week at school board because they voted on the redistricting of Powell Elementary School.
I've seen a couple stories.
Or the rezoning, I guess is what they call it. It's a long story short. It's pretty simple. You got Powell Elementary School, has a little over 800 kids in it. It was built for 400 and something. They got some extra buildings in the backyard and stuff like that. The technical capacity of that school is about 600.
Yeah.
They've had 800 kids or more for the last couple of years. The Ryswick and the administration have been trying to figure out a solution for it. Bricky McLeod and Carnes Elementary School, which are two neighboring elementary schools, are about 20% under capacity apiece. And so the solution was, let's redraw the lines here so that some of these kids that are going to Powell will now go to Brickey. Some of these other kids will go into Carnes Elementary. And parents are upset. They don't want their kids to change schools, which they don't have to, but that's a set of things. And it was a very contentious item. A lot of people reaching out to their school board member. It's in Steve Triplett's district. One of the public speakers coming, tons of people coming in and doing their public forum sessions and stuff like that, saying how damaging this is going to be to kids and blah, 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 blah. And it finally came to vote this week, and it passed on a very, very, very decisive vote, specifically from Cat Bike. And so the reason that is that one of the process things I learned this week is that when school board votes, they vote by district in order. So every time a vote comes up on the board, they vote District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in that order. And as a school board member, you have 3 options when voting. You can say yes to an item, you can say no to an item, or you can pass. If you pass and the quorum of 5 is not met, or the inverse being that a 5 can never be met, then it just dies at the end of the first round of voting. But if you pass and it's undecided, then it comes back through in order, and you can either pass again, or you can yes, no, or pass again. So the way this broke down, Triplett, District 7, everybody there that's pissed off about it is a District 7 voter. He is on a re-election campaign right now. He votes no. We don't want to rezone this school. I think, I don't know this for a fact. He hasn't said it publicly, nor will he. I think he knows that this is the right answer, and he wants, if it were a anonymous vote, I think he would vote yes. Yeah. Because it is the correct solution to the problem that that's in front of them. But he's also trying to get elected, and so he votes no. Betsy Henderson, who is trying to get Powell voters here in this election for mayor, also votes no. 4 members vote yes, 3 members pass. That gets us to our total of 9. So it gets through the first round, and we get this 4 yeses, 3 passes, 2 noes. The quorum number is 5. So it comes back around to the 3 passes, which were Districts 1, 2, and 4. Cat Bike being 4, the last on the list. They pass again. It comes to Cat Bike. If she passes, it's the same as doing no. Because if she passes, it's dead there because they didn't get the 5 required to pass it. But she, like everybody on the school board, understands this is the correct decision, and the votes are all politically based. The county committee or the school board members who are not up for re-election are safe in their seats, are not worried about it. They voted yes for it. Yeah. Second part of the problem for Cat Bike and others, or for the past people, but Cat Bike specifically, is that you have Steve Triplett, whose district it is, vote no on it. And so this is another district rep forcing something on somebody else's district, which is not normal. That's not something a lot of these people like to do on a normal basis. Right. And so, apparently Kat had a whole moment. It came back to her vote, and she, usually it's yes, no, Pat. I guess it's now Christy is the chair of the board. She goes down the list. And so it's Fontenot Rintley, yes. Butler, pass. And so they're pretty quick to give their vote when called upon. And it gets to her, which is, again, this is it. Whether she says yes, no, or pass, this is it. And it's all on Kat. And so she took a full minute of just kind of staring into the mid-distance, leaning on her fist, trying to just putting on. I don't think it was performative. It might have been. If it was performative, she did a great job. Oscars are this weekend. She should get one. But she eventually votes yes on it. And so we go through this whole thing, and I'm looking at it, and I'm watching it, and I'm hearing people talk about it and freaking out. I'm like, she came in there, she's telling us what to do with our kids at our school, and she's not even her district, and blah, blah, blah. And people are really upset with her about it. And it's just you guys are dumb. Don't be dumb. This is going to be another one of the episodes where I talk shit about voters. Don't be fucking stupid. There are 3 options in the situation that Powell Elementary School is in. 3.5 options if you want to get a little funky about it. Option 1, rezone it. Well, I guess there's 4 options. Option 1, change nothing. Just have a completely uncomfortably overcrowded school. That's option 1. Parents don't like that.
Yeah, it's not good for the students or the teachers.
Option 2 is rezone it. Get some of the kids out to nearby schools that it makes logical sense that you can get out and make a little bit more room. Get it more comfortable in there. Not to mention that that Belltown development will be partially in this school district. It's a huge 1,000. It's going to be like, it should be 1,000 something residents in this one neighborhood thing coming in. So the school board's looking ahead to that, or the school system rather is looking ahead to that as part of this thought process as well. Option 3 would be renovation / expansion. Add a new wing to the school. Put some more of those stupid temporary buildings out. I drove by Bearden High School this last week, and I had the older one in. I was like, "How? You know, I went to high school there." He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I wonder if those are the same buildings," because we were down on not Gallagher, but what's the one that runs behind it? Not Westland. Gleason. So cruising down on the Gleason side, the weird Mercedes-Benz repair shop.
Yeah.
But then it was the foreign language trailers and the vocational building. They're down at the bottom of the hill. Mm-hmm. I wonder if those are the same
I don't think
temporary buildings that have...
Sure they are.
My recollection of them, you might know better than me, my recollection is they were there. They were there. They were always there. They weren't new. They weren't getting installed when I was there.
Right. They were always there when I was there. Yeah.
Right. And so, like, you could ask your older sister, and I don't know when they got installed. I'm sure somebody out there knows. But those temporary buildings have been out there for at least 30 years now.
Well, they added on to the school
when our senior year.
Was it junior, senior? No, it was before that.
The whole we got. I think we got into the new part the second semester of our senior year.
My freshman year, they remodeled it. It might have been like early in sophomore, because I remember my freshman year, the senior parking lot used to be, if you're looking at the main building, it was a parking lot that was all the way on the end on the left, basically. Right. That's pretty much where they expanded to add like a whole new wing. I don't remember.
My recollection was they were working on it, but I don't think we got into it and had classes in there until our junior or senior year.
They did a big asbestos removal.
Maybe
like
maybe I'm
or something like that.
Anyway, so those two options: more portable buildings or an expansion, or option 4, which is everybody's favorite option, which is actually super hilarious if you think about it, would be let's build a new school.
Right.
All right. So of those 4 options, the first 2 are near free. The second 2 are fucking expensive, like incredibly expensive. Major renovation, additional buildings, building new school are incredibly expensive. I think they were talking about $60 million is like a lowball estimate for a new school. Knox County Schools doesn't have that. Knox County doesn't have that. So those options aren't really options if you think about it. Plus, I always think it's funny, like, we'll build a new school, but then we're going to have to rezone your kids. And that's what you're pitching a fit about right now.
Right. Well, my kids wouldn't go.
Well, but if you're gonna make a whole big mess, at least I get my kids in a new school. Well, maybe your kids will stay in the school, the shitty old school, and we'll put somebody else's kids in the new school. It's a stupid argument. Like, anyway, and so this is like, to me, this is if you're gonna go pitch a fit, fine, you have the right to pitch a fit. Go hit public forum, say your piece, but know what the fuck you're talking about. These are the options on the table. This one, period. It's either this or nothing. Which one do you want? Talk about it like that. Don't talk like you're not allowed to come at me about how, well, this is going to displace students, which it won't, because they have this really complicated fucking transfer. Like, it's 2 years. It's going to take 2 years to do this whole thing, and it's like, if you're in the school currently, you can basically just say I want to stay, and they'll let you stay, even if your house gets zoned to the other school or whatever. If you're in the school and you have a sibling that's about to start kindergarten next year, you can stay and finish your 5th grade year at the school, and your sibling can go and stay through their entire elementary school process because they want to lean into making sure the siblings can stay together at their schools.
Yeah. And
so they have a whole process for trying to make it as easy as possible, except for people that don't have an excuse to just be like, and I was thinking about it. There could have been a theoretical solution that may have made it a little bit less impactful, which basically says, but I don't know if it would have been enough over the 2-year cycle to get the capacity correctly, is that you just start with kindergartners and you say, okay, well, this is the new district for these schools, and any kid starting kindergarten is going to start there, with the exception of if they have an older sibling at the current school. And in the same cycle of 2 years, I mean, they would start that immediately. But in that same cycle of 2 years, I don't know if it would make the same amount of adjustment. I'm sure people in the district could figure it out. They have ways to know that. I don't know that. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think it would have been as many students, but it might have been a decent enough amount of students to make it workable.
Right.
Who knows? But so that's the only other solution I could come up with in about 30 seconds of me driving down the interstate in traffic, letting my mind wander on the topic. But my guess is that wouldn't have done enough to make the room they need to make. One, to balance out those schools, because you have two schools that aren't full, that aren't close to full, and you have one that's overflowing. And it's like, well, this is the logical solution. But again, like my complaint with voters and citizens, it's like, okay, parents, I understand. It wouldn't be my favorite either, but go fuck yourself, okay? Just go fuck yourself. This isn't about you. This isn't about your fucking kid. This is about a giant school system that is big and complicated and has to do a lot of things on arguably not enough budget. And so unless you want to go buy a new school for Knox County Schools and donate it, shut the fuck up. That's my take. I'm over this whole thing about how, well, my kid's here and I can do whatever the fuck I was get fucked. Like it's stupid to me. It upsets me because it's the same. It's a very clear microcosm of the same thing that every one of these stupid arguments on controversial issues that comes up before any of our local bodies is. It's a bunch of people who don't know how it works and don't know what's going on, being NIMBY, selfish ass pricks. That's all it ever is.
So I'd say it's very NIMBY-ish.
It is. It's super NIMBY. It's mine. I get it. I want to do what I want with it, and you're going to do what I want you to do with it. And it's like, get your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
It isn't about you. Well, I voted for you. Yeah, you did. And you voted for me to be responsible for a big picture item because you don't have the time and energy to think about it. So trust me when I tell you this is the correct move.
Yeah, it happened years ago with Hardin Valley Elementary. It was overcrowded. And they redrew the lines.
I mean, my kids go to West for fuck's sake. How stupid is that?
Right.
Geographically, it makes no sense. But it's what it does make sense when you look at when Hardin Valley came online and the shift of students, the way they needed to shift students to spread things out. It does make sense why my kids go to West. It's annoying. It's stupid. It's literally twice, maybe 3 times the commute because of traffic and stuff. Because it's like it would be so much quicker for me to get to Bearden back.
Went to school with a kid. I think it was from where he lived, or maybe it was an issue of like his mom and dad lived in different places. But he went to Bearden Middle, but I think he was zoned to go to Powell High School.
That'd be a very weird spot.
Yeah.
Because that, I don't know. Because, like, there's a little window in there in the, like, merchants. Yeah, and, like, the merchants Clinton Highway area. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you go merchants to Cedar Lane, and that goes over to Central High School. You go down 275 a little bit, get yourself to Fulton High School. Go up Clinton Highway a little bit, you end up at Powell High School. And at the time, at least pre-Hardin Valley, and even with Hardin Valley, Carnes is over there somewhere. I don't ever know exactly where Carnes or Gibbs. Gibbs is private? Is Gibbs private?
No, it's public.
Those two I always get confused, and I'm never sure exactly where they are in that whole debacle. But that seems logical to me that if you were like, what middle school?
Bearden.
Yeah. Like if you're where that new Food City on Oak Ridge Highway in Ball Camp, I think it is. Western.
Yeah.
Where Western and I think it's Ball Camp. There's New Food City right there. If you're right in that area, I can see where you could be at Powell. It's wonky, but I can see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think you did a good job, Cat Pike. It's the correct vote. If Triplett and if Triplett and Henderson were good leaders and not political whores, they would have voted yes for it too. It's not fair that you got put on the spot like that, Kat. I'm sorry, but you made the right choice. To me. Because, again, from a leadership perspective, yes, I hear you, constituents. But I need to educate you on what you're actually talking about, and then you can come back to me with how you feel, what you think I should do.
Are you advocating for the greater good?
I mean, it's not even advocating for the greater good. It's just advocating for the correct answer. It's just a simple, straight answer.
Right.
There's only one logic here, And the logic is, unless you want to pay more taxes, which the same fucks don't want to pay more taxes, to get more schools and to build more things, this is the only logical option. So unless you have an alternate solution in the free category, like Abbott Elementary School, have you watched that show?
A little bit.
It's really great. Abbott Elementary, sorry, it's not elementary school. That's the setting. Keenan Michael Key is he's the superintendent of Philadelphia School District or whatever. And there's a scene in there where this other person's sitting there and they're pitching this great idea that they want to do for the students and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And he's just like, what? How much is it going to cost? And they're like, it's free. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And then she comes back. There's a different scene later on, and he's like, and it's the same thing. It's like there's really elaborate, really well done presentation, and he ain't paying a bit of attention until they say how much it is. And if it's free, he's like, okay. If it costs money, he's like, nope, doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
We need toilet paper for all the school bathrooms. How much is it going to cost? Yeah. Nope. And so, anyway, and I think it's accurate. I'm very curious about that. I would like to reach out to a teacher or two, watch that show, and see what they think about it. Because I do believe the creator of that show has had some teaching experience in their life. They definitely seem to understand some of the issues that is the system, because it's chronically underfunded jokes all the time. It's all about money and whatever.
Right.
So anyway, good job, Cat Bike. I think you made the right choice. Suck it, Powell residents. Educate yourselves before you run your mouths. I think that's my conclusion to that story. You got any additions, subtractions, or adjustments you'd like to make on my take?
No, my immediate thought on it, maybe there was some kind of push to build a charter school in there. So maybe there was hope that it would fail. So then there was maybe hope of bringing in some kind of like...
I haven't heard any. Like most, I mean, that's the thing is like most of the charter schools that have tried to come into Knox County, at least as long as I've been paying attention, they're always targeting they're at least rhetorically, they're always targeting underprivileged. And Powell ain't underprivileged. There are some poor folks up in Powell, don't get me wrong. But the Powell community is not.
I think they just go wherever the greatest demand is. I mean, especially with the vouchers now.
I mean, again, the capitalist in me says if I had the means, I would build a school right across from Powell Elementary School and be like Powell Private Elementary, and you can get your voucher money and send your kid here. Lee is again trying pushing to double the voucher count for next year. I don't know. I got another email today about his pride in. Well, I think it's in this one. His pride in trying to make this thing. Here he goes. After soaring demand, Governor Lee is calling for doubling education freedom scholarships and more. Let's see what wonderful parents he spoke to.
I'm Brooke Edging, and so my husband's Stephen Edging. So we both actually grew up in Tennessee public schools, and I always just thought our kids would be public school kids, and we really loved it until our child started middle school. She's the child who loved learning, and so when she started not wanting to go to school in 7th grade, I knew there must be a problem. We just realized that she was not being challenged. There was no enrichment programs or anything to keep her interested in school, and so it was just a real struggle, which was just not our child. And so Stephen actually had been wanting to move.
No, I can't anymore for this stuff. Yeah. I don't want to hear some testimony from some bullshit paid actor. I don't care if you're a real parent or not.
No, what the Defiant Parent pop up there is these people were compensated for their time. And
I mean, you should be. I'd rather you be I mean, if they're if it's a real story, at least I don't mind that you got paid for it.
Is where we should be headed. We were praying for this.
No, well, you lost me again. Anyway, I don't care. Like, whatever.
We had a middle schooler that started becoming disinterested in school.
Right.
Elementary school, for the most part, is pretty fun. I mean, you get into middle school, that's really when they start hammering you down.
You know what? But to be fair, to be fair to the whole argument here, it's like, yeah, these public school teachers or public school systems don't have the funding or resources to put good quality accelerated programs in place. We don't have the funding. Like, what did we do just last year? They had a whole thing with Knox County Schools with some funding thing where they took out a bunch of the gifted and talented programming.
They removed them?
They shifted around how they did it in a weird way, but to save money. And so they have these teachers kind of they have the curriculum's getting created somewhere, but the regular, like, so if you're identified as like gifted at math or something like that, your regular math teacher is going to give you additional stuff to address the gifted part, which is good. They're doing something, but it used to be separated in a way that was probably more engaging for these kids that are more accelerated at it and stuff like that. And now it's just kind of like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, no shit. Maybe if we funded the schools to a level that made sense and that these public schools could have the means to do these things, then yeah. And so we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like, this is the conservative movement in Tennessee in a nutshell. Complain about something, take its money away, make it suck, and then create a replacement for it because it sucks now.
With taxpayer money.
It's like, well, it sucks now because you guys are dismantling parts and pieces of it. Not saying it was great beforehand, but if the original thing is bad, not bad, but just not as good as you hoped it would be, you could supplement it with more funds and more energy and effort and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe, you know, I know it's different governments and different budgets and stuff, but maybe instead of spending $1 billion a day in Iran right now, we could be spending it on public schools. Maybe that's a weird solution. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm anti-Semitic. That's probably what it is. You know, but it's like, so we have this thing that is lacking. Whatever it is that the government's involved in, and it's lacking. The solution from the Republicans, in Tennessee at least, is we're going to take this thing that's lacking and make it worse, and then complain about it being bad. It's like, okay. And then we're going to offer this solution, because this was the point the whole time in our program. This was a long-term game that the conservative agenda has been pushing for a long time. This isn't new. It didn't pop up 2 years ago when Governor Lee first started introducing this stuff. This has been something that's been pushed and had background and all this different stuff working for decades. This isn't a new concept. This is something that's been like, you know, and again, I think if somebody really knew it and really knew the history, looking at you, Tennessee Holler people, go in there and see if you can find the first set of bills that went through the State House that was the beginning of the pick at public schools in Tennessee. I'll bet you it was in the 80s, 90s, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think some of it kind of started with trying to cut out some of the arts.
Yeah, you know, and so it's like, but again, it's like, well, yeah, it's a problem. I agree. I complain about the school system all the time, and again, like on a very fundamental basis, I'm okay with private school systems. Like, I don't mind the idea of private school systems. And again, on like a fairness level, I kind of get the premise. It's like, well, if I got to pay out of pocket, then you shouldn't take it out of my pocket for other people. That seems fair. Like, I don't know about the voucher being the correct answer, but it's like, well, how about you don't tax me? So I don't pay you the money for you to then give back to me that I don't give to the school. How about you just don't pay you the money in the first place and I pay the school the money? That would be a more libertarian solution to thing. But it goes back to what I was talking about. It's like going to the dentist. Like, we all know we need to go to the dentist. It's important. It's standard. Like, everybody goes to the dentist. You might take a break in your 20s or whatever, but everybody gets back to going to the dentist. It's not fun. It's not easy, but you do it anyway because you know it's good for you. If that's how we treated schools as parents with kids and it was normal, I think we'd be fine. It's just the transition out of a public school system into a fully normalized private school system, I think would be a problem. It's going to just be a hard transition. But that's a 6 or half dozen thing. Yeah. Anyway, we're back on the voucher debate, and he wants to. I don't know why that video showed up. There was a click through on his email. I thought it was going to be.
Just call it a vignette.
Maybe. You know, so that and the other big one this week, and I haven't been able to go through it yet because it's I don't know, 47 pages. I don't know how many pages. Maybe 17. How many pages is this thing there, old Bessie?
Tells you 17 at the top.
Yeah, 17 pages. It's Betsy's plan, which I can appreciate it. I haven't read through it. I don't know what's in it. I'm not saying I appreciate the quality of work that she put in there, but I appreciate the idea. Like, this is a 17-page, data-riddled, there's a couple of blank pages.
Yeah, a couple pages.
But it explains why she thinks she can get away with no tax increase. It explains what she means by responsible spending, or at least at the heading says responsible spending and data. I assuming she explains some of that underneath. Transparency and accountability. These are all her, top tier. These are all her top issues, and then it's a little breakdown on them. The Star Commission, which is hilarious. Can I be on the Star Commission, Betsy? I need to call, text her. Be like, hey, can I be on the Star Commission? To ensure Knox County lives within its means and delivers real results for taxpayers, I will establish the Star Commission. STAR stands for Spending Taxpayer Accountability Reform. So it's Betsy's version of Doge.
Doggy.
Good. I mean, it's good acronym. Nice work. This commission will conduct a top-to-bottom review of county spending, debt obligation, and government operations to identify waste, improve efficiency, and strengthen long-term financial stability, all without raising taxes. Never mind. I don't want to do it. You're not going to fuck it. You're going to have to pay me. I'm not doing that.
I was about to say, how much is this commission going to cost?
I'm not doing that for free, but practical recommendations make government leaner, smarter, and more accurate for the people it serves.
Because hopefully they're going to get at least one accountant in there. They can kind of pour through numbers.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll just have AI go through it.
Yeah. I don't want an accountant. Accountants are useless.
Well, somebody that knows how to actually interpret the dollars.
Yeah, maybe. I just don't want. I don't know. I guess and this will be my argument to why Betsy, you should put me on thing, is that I'm the one that'll be able to translate this to normies. Because I think that's the number one issue in government in general.
Yeah.
That's why I was mad that I wasn't on the county health department community advisory board thing. That actually really made me mad. And the more I think about it, I was telling somebody about it the other day, and it got me real agitated about it again. So literally, the board was made up of it was the CEO or or the medical director of UT Medical director of Fort Sanders Group, somebody else that's like high-ranking doctor in whatever, the director of the health department, whatever her name was that everybody was mad at. And they wanted a community member to kind of balance it out, right?
Right.
And so I got, I guess that would have been Kyle Ward to put my name on the thing, or maybe I self-applied, I don't remember. But that was the meeting I showed up to and sat for like 7 hours, and at the end of the meeting they were trying to be like, a couple of the people that were planning on being this didn't make it, so let's just postpone it. It was like, I was like, nah. I didn't sit here for 7 hours to not get at least discussed and for why I'm here. And so anyway, get to it and to do the whole thing, and they nominate a medical student at UT. It's like, I thought the whole point of this position was to bring in a non-medical person. So you bring in a medical student because they're not technically a doctor yet.
Did they say they wanted a non-medical person?
Yeah,
I think
that was my take
member
on
of the
it.
public.
I mean, yes, I guess technically it's a member of the public, but it's like you have a medical advisory board, or it was a community advisory board for the Knox County Medical or Knox County Health Department.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, we do have doctors and such that live in the community, but we also have non-doctors and such that live in the community. Maybe we should have a representative from the non-doctor group. Maybe sit in on this thing. I'm not asking for the majority of it, but like in my head, my whole intent was like, okay, just explain it to me like I'm an idiot. And if you can't explain it to me where I understand it, you have no hope of explaining it to the public at large.
Yeah.
Like, we can sit at the table, you guys can break all those numbers down, you can break it down. Make me understand it. If you can't make me understand it, you're not going to make the public understand it. And if you want the public to do something that they don't think they want to do, and you can't explain to them why, you're going to have a big fight all the time. So help me help you. That was my take on that was what I wanted out of that job. So anyway, yeah, I'll be on the Star Commission, Betsy. I got nothing better to do with my time. I'll take a small salary. It doesn't have to be like $75,000 a year or something like that. It's fine. Nothing crazy. I mean, like, you're wanting work. It's not just a review. It's a review and practical recommendations, which is kind of bullshit if you think about it.
See, I don't think it would be an everlasting commission, though. Maybe. I don't know.
No, because everything Betsy adds to the budget is going to be perfect. Why would they need to review whatever Betsy adds to the budget? Once she clears all the waste out, everything she adds is going to be proper. Obviously.
Yeah.
Right?
Efficient, effective services.
So again, like I said, it's a 70-page document. I haven't got to read through it yet. But like, I don't know. It's like, again, just grabbing stuff on the blue.
Requiring companies that share our values?
Her prosperity and opportunity section of the Crossroads plan.
Or is it recruiting companies?
So this is, if you go to BetsyHenderson.com or whatever and go to her issues page, there's a link on her issues page that will then push you to this PDF. You can print it off or read it on the interwebs. The Crossroads plan for, this section is prosperity and opportunity. A thriving community is built on economic freedom, hard work, and opportunity for all. East Tennessee has always been a place where people take pride in earning their success, and we want to ensure that tradition continues. As your mayor, I will champion policies that create an environment where small businesses can flourish, families can prosper, and future generations have opportunities to build their lives right here at home. Headline 1, bringing in high-paying jobs and recruiting companies. Our community deserves more than just growth. We deserve good-paying jobs that support families and create long-term stability. I will work to attract industries that align with our values, offering meaningful employment without sacrificing our way of life. By cutting red tape, keeping taxes low, and investing in workforce development, we can ensure that our residents have access to careers that provide security and upward mobility. I have lots of questions, like what is a company that is aligned with our values? Can you think of a company that aligns with Knox County values? Can you tell me what Knox County's values are?
All right, so that's a section I'm kind of trying to half read.
Okay, so I'll skip a chapter or a paragraph and come down to what you're at. Recruiting companies that share our values. East Tennessee is a place of opportunity, and with the right leadership, we can build a future with our children and grandchildren can prosper without having to leave home to find success. Not all businesses are a right fit for East Tennessee. We must be strategic in attracting companies that respect our community, our workforce, and our way of life. I will work to recruit employers that prioritize hard work, personal responsibility, and local investment, ensuring that economic growth benefits our people and not just corporate interests. What the fuck does any of that mean?
No, but didn't it sound good?
I mean, it
Sounds like
does.
she's
I
gonna
guess.
work hard
What
to
is it like?
bring in-
I don't know what that means. Like, again, I have a lot of questions, and I will get my chance to ask Betsy
Is
some
she
of
going
these.
to kick out Amazon like warehouses or some shit?
Well, like, we must be strategic in attracting companies so they don't, like, long story short, Knox County can do about fuck all about getting rid of any business or
Attracting it.
or stopping any business from coming in here that wants to. There are some things they can do. Obviously, zoning and codes and stuff like that can definitely put the kibosh on things like data centers and, I guess if you're like, I don't know, I don't think, if you wanted to open a porn studio in Knoxville, I think you'd be fine. As long as it's not open to the public or whatever. But I don't think there's a lot they could do as long as it's zoned correctly.
Yeah.
As long or that or you're not trying to build a giant dick on the side of the road or something like that. I think you should be, But again, attracting companies that respect our community, our workforce, and our way of life. Like, what is that? Like, what companies? Like, what possible company can you think of that would make sense to be that? Like, we're gonna bring REI in because we have our mountainy thing that we like around here. We're gonna. I mean, to me, that's going to be some more UT dick sucking because UT is, they respect our way of life. They are our way of life.
Right.
Which I hate that. So I don't know. Like, again, 100%, no cap. That for the kids out there, I would 100% respect the hell out of this document. I respect that she put this document out. I was pretty sure it was going to be sort of fluffy, but it's better than nothing. It's better. Like it gives us at least some insight into her. We can agree or disagree with what's on the document. She put the document out. She put it to the public. Kudos, right. Betsy. Like, truly kudos. I'm not trying to be a dick here. Like, I'm honestly saying I appreciate this thing.
I concur.
Actually, I skipped this chapter. Supporting small businesses. I was blessed with parents that started a small business. I saw firsthand the amount of work that went into blah, 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 blah. As mayor, I will work to cut unnecessary regulation, streamline the permitting process, and reduce government interference so that small businesses can grow and thrive by keeping taxes low and ensuring a level playing field. Now, granted, all of my locations are in the city, except for this one. I don't know what the Knox County government can do about any of what she's fucking talking about. Obviously, permitting for buildings. and zoning issues and stuff like that, the county has a lot of involvement in. But
And taxes is more state level.
But as far as any of the, quote, red tape, that's all state level shit.
Yeah.
What does your small business do? Do you do anything food related? Knox County Health Department does do stuff, obviously. They come and inspect kitchens and whatnot. But that's per the state rules. There's not a Knox County... The Knox County Restaurant Code, I do not believe, I could be wrong on this, but the code for Knox County restaurants and the health inspection that the Knox County Health Department does, I believe is constructed by the state.
State standard, yeah.
I don't think Knox County's is different than Anderson County's and so on. I'm pretty sure it's a statewide standard.
I would assume, yeah.
So if you're in the food industry in any way, shape, or form...
It's like, oh, you're where? Oh, well, your refrigerator can be a few degrees off of what the next county has.
Right. But I'm saying, like, I'm truly, like, I could be wrong on this. Please, somebody help me understand what red tape businesses are dealing with on the county level. Other than, I want to build a fucking building. I want to buy a piece of property. I want to build a building to do work in. Because, yes, Knox County has a lot of red tape. Residents as well, if you want to build something. What shape building is it? How big is the building? What size property it is? Like, hell, some of that's not even... Some of the building stuff's not even Knox County stuff either. Knox County uses the international code for, like, half of their building inspections. Like, it's international code for, like, doorways, electrical, plumbing. Like, it's right. International. It's all the same across the fucking world. Yeah. At least the developed world, at least. And so I don't know, like... I really don't know. And I don't know what businesses we're talking about here. But in my experience, local government is not the red tape that I've had to deal with personally. So at least from my perspective in my businesses, other than having to deal with the trustee's office every once in a while to try to get my tangible personal property tax figured out, because I don't own anything of value and they want to tax me anyway on my tangible personal property. And trying to figure out how to get the right information to them so that I just hit the minimum and I don't have to worry about it. I don't deal with the county for much of anything. I don't know what red tape she's talking about.
It's probably kind of one of those invisible boogeyman type issues.
I mean,
I'm going to fix the schools.
It sounds great. Right. Like getting rid of
the people that aren't in the know. It's like, yeah, there probably is a bunch of red tape that
kill the bureaucracy. That's a good question. I wonder what percentage of employees, or I wonder what percentage of working people in Knox County are self-employed.
I think it's grown some with
it's probably significant. I mean, I would think it was
gig economies, but
gig economy being one. But I mean, you think of all the contractors.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, there are big players that have there's big plumbing and electrical companies that do big work. You know, they have big companies with hundreds of employees. But I would say for every, HEP that's a service company that has like I think they have like 320 employees or something like that. They're big.
Yeah.
It's a big company. They also cover like all of the trades, so it's a little bit harder. Maybe standard plumbing would be an easier one to do because they only do plumbing. But, for every HEP size trades company, there are probably 100 like individual partnerships or something like that, where it's like a guy and a couple of his buddies that have a partnership that do plumbing or do electrical or do HVAC or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I would bet. I mean, we got 500,000 people in this county. I would bet in this county there are no less than 25,000 trades companies that operate in Knox County. Roofing, siding, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. I would say there's a solid 5 digits of registered companies, and then another solid 5 digits of people that do it under the table.
True.
Yeah. And so there is definitely some red tape there. But as far as running my business, Knox County could fucking blow me. Because even though the one part that I do that's important to Knox County, I pay to the state, and the state gives it to Knox County later, which is when I collect sales tax.
Yeah.
And I don't collect sales tax for Knox County. I collect it for the city of Knoxville because I'm in the city of Knoxville. Or at least my retail businesses are. So, yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to make this a shit on Betsy show. But she did release this yesterday, and so I wanted to look it over. I do like. I'm looking forward to some people to break down the income, the tax income, and current spending and debt numbers that she has posted.
I'm thinking maybe that's why she preemptively is like, once I'm elected, I'm going to have this thing to really dig into it.
Well, I like that premise. Like, again, it's a politician. Expecting a politician to do what they say they're going to do is a long shot at best. But I like the idea. Like, I do like the idea. Here's my plan. Here's what I want to do. And if you elect me, this is what I'm going to do. And at the end of the day, like, if she's elected, this is what I'm going to expect her to do. And if it's things I don't like, I'm going to fight against them. If it's things I do like, I'm going to support them. And having it out there in front of me. And when she calls shit out, or when she does shit that's not in her plan or against her own plan, I'm going to call her out for it. Like, hey, you explicitly said this in your Crossroads plan, that this is not something you were going to do. And here you are doing it. I did see the COVID in this first paragraph, and I'm really having a hard time not stopping what I'm doing and reading it. Are you reading it? Read that first paragraph. Can you read it from there?
Barely.
Here, let me help you. All right, introduction from Betsy. Go.
Friends. When I was sworn in to serve Knox County School Board in December 2020, our community faced a crisis, COVID. In that moment, is it supposed to be all caps? I guess, maybe. No, because it's not an acronym. In that moment, I stood with families, not hysteria. In the face of attacks.
Hold on. It might supposed to be our community faced a crisis. COVID. Maybe it's not it might have should have had an exclamation point. I mean, she's a boomer. She's not quite a boomer, but she's up there in the boomer thing where she uses the caps wrong. It's fine. Anyway, in that moment, I stood with families, not hysteria. Continue.
In the face of attacks and intimidation, I fought to keep schools open and opposed mask mandates because parents, not politicians, should make decisions for their children.
Wrong.
Such a leadership experience matters because when you choose an executive, the next challenge remains unknown but is likely right around the corner.
Okay, time out. To be clear, I agree with her. I was against them closing the schools down, and I was against the mask mandates. But parents, not politicians, is not the way. Going back to our earlier conversation about the Powell redistricting, parents don't like unless you have the most educated parents on the topic. Then parents and politicians might be the correct answer, but not parents, not politicians is not right.
Yeah,
that's not right because parents don't give a fuck about the greater picture. They don't give a fuck about their neighbors. They don't give a fuck about the other kids. They care about their kid. Full stop. That's it. And that's okay. I'm not blaming parents for that. I think that's perfectly fine. I am like that as a parent myself.
Right. You should, to an extent, prioritize.
My kid does something stupid. I'm like, hey, man, that was dumb. Somebody else's kid does something stupid. I get angry. And I tell that parent, your kid's fucking dumb. Don't let your kid do stupid shit.
What's wrong with Jimmy?
But if somebody came over to me and said my kid was doing something stupid, I'd tell them to go fuck themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I am selfish and completely a NIMBY about my kids. And that's because I'm a parent, and that's what parents are supposed to do. That doesn't make them right, especially especially with a project that is greater than a student. Again, I did not agree with the schools closing, and I did not agree with the mask mandates. I dealt with it. I did what I needed to do to keep things rolling. But that's just
wholly turning that over to the parents is not a good idea.
Right. And again, and where I agree with not politicians, not these state politicians who are more concerned with, getting documentation on every fucking student than what the students actually get taught. More concerned with getting the 10 Commandments in the classroom than to doing something about the next school shooting or hell, I don't know, funding a new building getting built. So I have problems with the politicians that are in charge of these schools too. Don't get the
books
twisted.
In the library.
Right. Oh my God. There's a gay family. There's a gay family in the book my son had to read, and now he's going to be gay.
I don't think anything was required reading. I think 95 to 100% of the books were just books that were in the library. But my kid could go through the aisles and maybe pick out that book to read.
Oh my God, that was so. And then he might be gay.
He has free choice to read.
And then my kid might be gay, and I don't know how to raise a gay kid. What am I supposed to do with a gay son?
I mean, we only go to church twice a week. They need to get more biblical learning in school, too. But I don't want to send them to a religious school.
Because they're going to hate him for being gay. Anyway, finish the paragraph just so you finish something. I don't know.
No, that's okay.
It's important to choose a leader who shares your values, has the judgment to make tough decisions, which, again, let's go back in logic here for a second. Parents, not politicians. Trust me, this politician, to make judgments for you. Just a little circular logic there to make sure we catch that. Trust parents, not politicians. I'm the politician you should trust. Yeah. It's important to choose a leader who shares your values, has the judgment to make the tough decision, and has the courage to stand firm under pressure. What pressure? You're the mayor of Knox County. But being mayor, the only pressure you're going to get is from the state, who it doesn't care about you because you're a Republican. Being mayor is not about speeches and slogans, but rather it's about leadership when it counts. When tested in crisis, I did not back down, and I will bring that same resolve to the decision-making to the mayor's office. Again, I want to point out that just this week, in her school board role, she voted against the correct decision for her own political ends, so that she would be seen as supportive of that community who she wants to vote for her later. I'm sorry, Betsy. Track record matters. You're like, her Facebook page is fun right now. Like, it's really fun. She has these little quizzes she puts out, this little pop quiz. Like, how much, like the one about, they should do this one, and it's good factual stuff, technically, but it's one of those, like, the Knox County Commission, the past year, or like forever, I don't know how long they've been doing it, they hire a lobbyist every year to go to Nashville and advocate on the behalf of Knox County. Because that's how anything gets done in the State House, is through lobbyists. So Knox County has one on staff. They've hired one, and they go to Knoxville, they go to Nashville, and they lobby all day. That's their job. And basically, she's calling that wasted spending. Which, okay. Theoretically, I agree with that. It is wasteful spending. The idea that a subdivision of the state can't talk directly to legislatures and get some resolve from them is kind of ridiculous. But I have a feeling that it's arguable, at minimum, that without it, they don't get anything that they want.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but so, like, it's like, how much did Betsy, or not how much did Kim and Larson, how much did Kim and Larson agree to spend of your money on a lobbyist to go to Nashville? It's like, I don't know. That's not the worst case. That's like, I'm sure we'll get deeper into it as things go along. But I don't know if yes, I agree. I agree that that paying a lobbyist is a waste of, or not a waste of money, but I agree that paying a lobbyist is a bummer. But if that's how this machine works, I kind of feel like it's a necessity. Is it unfortunate it's a necessity? Yes. Would I like to see something done so that it wasn't a necessity? Yes. But is it a functional necessity? Probably. We'll see, I guess. She gets elected and she doesn't put money in for a lobbyist in the budget. Which, again, this is her accidentally calling out Mayor Jacobs as well, if you didn't catch that.
Right.
Because that was in Mayor Jacobs' budget. And, at least he signals as the conservative Republican of East Tennessee. He is trying to replace Marsha Blackburn as the senator for the state of Tennessee with a pretty conservative audience. So, Mayor Jacobs signed off on that too. And I get it, because again, that's what I'm saying. Like, her little quizzes are factual. Like, it's factually correct. But it's like, well, but yes, Kim and Larson voted for that. A couple people on commission voted against that. The rest of the commission voted for that. And it was part of Mayor Jacobs' budget. But you don't call out Mayor Jacobs. You don't call out there were other Republicans that were on commission. You're only calling out the two that are running against. So it's a little contextually misleading. It's not like they voted for it and everybody else in commission voted against it.
Right.
Or it was them and the Democrats voting together. Oh, no, it was they passed, these things passed in commission meetings. So obviously the Republican majority of commission had at least a handful of votes for it. I mean, Kim and Larson being two of the Republicans on commission, but Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to go read the rest of this thing right now and respond to it live in real time.
I concur.
I mean, maybe I do. I don't know. What else you got? What other state stuff's going on?
There was a bill that's going through to, let's say, remove fluoride in public water systems.
I'm not mad at that. I would be curious, statistically, how much is anybody drinking tap water anymore? Like, of the millions of gallons that go through our pipes every day, how many of those gallons are going into people's mouths where the fluoride would be useful?
I'd say there's at least a third of households have a refrigerator with a water line.
And I suppose, I guess, for the intent that the fluoride is
maker.
Right, and for the, I guess, now that I say it out loud, for the intent that why the fluoride is in there, the lower income families are probably the families that are drinking tap water more often than not.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. My fridge has a filter that I change every couple months.
Right.
Does that filter out the fluoride?
No.
Anyway, I don't know. Like I legitimately didn't know. I mean, it's sad that I need to put a water filter on my tap water to make it drinkable.
Slightly nicer, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's not much that filters actually filter out.
I remember drinking out the hose.
Exactly.
I still do. I'll be drinking out the hose this summer. I guarantee it. I drink the pool water. I drink all the waters. I don't give a shit. I drink the seawater. That not on purpose. It just happens.
I mean, I'd love to see new water lines completely rerun. I think fluoride is the least of the worries in our water system.
That's fair. I mean, that's the. I mean, to me, it's just like the call. Like it's cost benefit. The question to me is the cost benefit. I don't know the correct answer. Like, if we stopped, would the cost of the dental needs for stopping outweigh the cost of adding the fluoride? I doubt it. Like, that's my catch. That's where I get kind of stuck in it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really down the rabbit hole of like it's some weird like gives kids autism kind of crazy bullshit of, you know, what's the conspiracy take on it? Makes us dumb.
Yeah, that it does some kind of neurological thing. But it's only in like really high doses. And I can't remember. I've seen something that there's fluoride in like other things naturally anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole of like just the money thing to me. It's just like how much money are we spending buying fluoride and putting it in?
Yeah, to get to it.
And then
I don't think it's that significant.
I mean, it's not nothing. And when when our water, with the cost of water and stuff like that, anyway, are they filtering it back out before they drop it in the river?
Filtering out the fluoride?
Do they recycle it? How does that work on the wastewater side?
No, there's no way to remove it after.
Well,
it's
then at this point, why do we need to add fluoride at all? It should be in all the water, all the time, everywhere.
Kind of is, but just not at the municipal level.
I mean,
that's getting pumped into people's houses.
I'm saying, like
the water treatment is pretty much like throwing a bunch of bleach at it to kind of like half clean it before we dump it in the river. That we then pull water out. Well,
they have the settling tanks where all the solids sink to the bottom.
Right. There's more to it than that. I'm very simplifying that. They throw chemicals at it to kind of
I'm just saying, like,
treat it enough to where it's less toxic.
But if all of our wastewater has all the fluoride that came from the original water, and it's not like does like the water cycle filter it out? What happens to it when it does it?
No, it doesn't get filtered out. No.
So it goes up in the rainwater, and then it falls down in the rainwater.
It's not in that concentrated of a level that it would kind of recycle itself.
I don't understand. Where does it go? Does it stay? So it stays stuck to the water molecule. Is that what you're telling me? So that
I don't think it sticks itself to water molecules. I mean, it's a separate like mineral. Basically, it's in it.
Okay, so is it all stuck at the bottom of the ocean? Like, I really don't. I'm confused.
No, I mean, once they pump it back out into the river, it's not in a high enough concentration that it's going to, like you said, go into the rainwater to kind of refilter.
But is it in the same? But is it a lesser concentration than it was when it came in? When they added it to it?
It's at a higher concentration when they add it directly into the municipal water supply.
Okay, so it comes in at a 2. Like, it comes in from the water at a 2. It gets added up to a 10. It goes through the pipe into your face, out your dick into the toilet. You flush it. It goes into the wastewater at a 4. It doesn't come out of the wastewater at a 4. That 4 goes into the river that goes downstream, gets picked up by the next system, goes into the system as a 4?
No, as I'm saying, once it goes into the river, it's much more highly diluted comparative to the water that it's getting pumped
But that's
into.
what I'm saying, though, is like for the trillions and trillions of tons that have been added to municipal water around the country, if not the world, for decades now, has continued to go into the system, and it doesn't ever really subtract, is what you're illustrating to me, at least. It should be not exponentially, but incrementally increasing in every cycle. If it stays in the water...
Not from our water supply, because ours keeps coming down from the mountains.
Well, where does the water from the mountains come from?
Rain and some springs.
Okay. So the rainwater, at least, for our weather systems, either comes out of the Gulf or comes out of the Pacific Ocean. All of our wastewater goes into the Gulf. So if we're putting fluoride into the wastewater that goes all the way down into the Mississippi River, into the Gulf of Mexico, and then gets evaporated up and then brought back up here and rained on us, there's still fluoride in the water that comes back down. Is there not?
I don't think in high enough concentration, no.
But it's never in a high concentration. But if it repeats and repeats and repeats, it would get in a higher concentration over time.
Not necessarily.
If you're never subtracting and you're just adding, even if there's natural subtraction, whatever, fuck it. I don't give up on this.
I think we're trying to dig into it too much.
If it costs $1 and it's not saving $1 or 10 down the road, I don't see the point. I mean, there is part of me in the very the very, crazy libertarian version of it. It's like, well, how about you brush your own fucking teeth and don't worry about mine? How about you get some fluoride toothpaste and deal with your own shit? Go to the store and buy some fluoride toothpaste and you do your thing and don't worry about my teeth.
Yeah.
Realistically, again,
assuming somebody has done a cost benefit analysis that it's cheaper to add it to the water supply versus have 10 care pay for a whole bunch more of kids having to do fillings and whatnot.
That'd be the question I would have, and I'd be curious to see that study. I doubt it. I feel like at this point it's just kind of like this. It's one of those we've always done it this way things. That's where I feel like we're at on it. I don't necessarily agree with the impetus. The impetus is probably some stupid RFK Jr. crazy rabbit hole on why we're taking it out. But if it's not needed, I don't see why we would spend $1 on it. That's like if it's not if you can't argue the need, I don't see what the point is.
It's really worded as a need. I think it's more worded as a community benefit, basically.
I mean, that's your need in the argument. Is we need this to help people have healthy teeth. If we don't have this, the dental health of our society will go down.
Yeah,
that's why we need it. Anywho,
I did see an update on. I mentioned it the other day. There was some kind of contest that Elon's company put out.
Yeah,
I guess the Boring Company.
I know we're finalists for it. City and Knoxville came out.
One of 16. I think
City
Texas
and Knoxville
had more.
came out and said we had nothing to do with it. And apparently the application didn't have to have a municipality attached, which is quite interesting.
I thought they interviewed the guy that submitted it or whatever, but I guess I did just see a story that it was the plan for it would be from Neyland to Market Square. So I guess they are trying to keep it in that 1 mile.
Go fuck yourself. God damn it.
Because apparently it's all going to be done for free, whoever wins this contest. But there's also weird things that they basically they have the right to refuse or change stuff at their leisure.
Basically. Well, right. Well, it'd be
since they're doing it for free, supposedly.
Well, you're not going to ride it for free,
right?
So they're not doing it for free.
I guess the city wouldn't be charged in the actual construction of it.
Okay, so if I were to let's see here, let's say I were to open a bar,
but they retain the rights to recoup any benefits. Which
I'm just saying, if I were to
think that's their plan for the one in Nashville.
If I were to perhaps buy a piece of property and build a bar on it, I don't go around saying I'm building the bar for you guys for free. You're going to come use the services that my bar sells. That's why I built it, to sell shit. I mean, that's how businesses operate.
Right.
It's literally the reality of what this is us saying, what markets could I put this in that I would have the popular support that would get the government support for it to allow me to do it, because that's a permitting zoning nightmare. That it's basically the city of Knoxville. If we're chosen, the city of Knoxville will have to do a mountain of legal stuff to get the permission so that the Boring Group can do it. And so what this to me is Musk and the Boring Group going, what municipality would support this? Not financially, but just support letting us do this.
Well, I think that's what some disagreement was with the one in Nashville's kind of plans. I think there were at least a number of like metro commissioners and whatnot that said they were kind of left in the blind about at least part of the project.
Yeah. But I would say, like, it's like, whose property is it? Like, it's not a fucking train where they're buying the land and putting train tracks on it. It's not a highway or a road
right,
where they're buying the surface land through eminent domain or something like that.
That'd all be UT land, basically.
Well, that's the question. I bet it's not. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are on that. Like, realistically, like, how far down? Like, I made the joke.
I guess Market Square is not campus. But...
I mean, that'd be the city of Knoxville. Like, it depends where they put the station and what the access is. Like, you know, because, like, it's weird. Like, which is another weirdism of that system. But whatever. Like, if you're doing it in Market Square, somewhere around Market Square, there'll be just a tunnel that drops down into the road somewhere. But whether that's through private property, like that's like, okay, you're going to dig the tunnel for free, but how is that going to work? But even that, whatever, it's like, legally speaking, I own this quarter acre of my house, right? That my house sits on.
You're renting it from the bank.
How high up in the air? I am renting it from the bank. I'm renting it from the county too, for that matter.
Right.
How high up in the air is mine? At what elevation above my yard can I claim you trespassing if you fly over my house?
And it's denoted in there somewhere.
And in the same breath, which I've never considered before until this conversation, how deep is mine? Like, does it go down to the center of the earth?
Right.
Like, if they're like, if the boring company were to come along and that tunnel runs underneath my house, do I have any rights? Do I have any protections? If that tunnel collapses and a sinkhole forms in my backyard, do I have any protection or any legal recourse to that? Or is this some unknown owner, like the property, there's some unknown ownership of the ground that's 100, 200 feet below my feet? I don't know. Like, that's a real question. Because I know that's one of the weird things with, like, mining and, like, especially oil rights. Like, oil rights get real weird.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I'm sitting on top of there's a big oil deposit underneath my house, but you bought the property next door and you put the oil drill in over there and it sucks the oil out and it also pulls it out from under my house.
Right. Yeah, depending on how big that reservoir or whatever is.
Right. And so it's like, well, was that my oil that you stole because I own the ground that my house is on, or is that your oil because you put the oil derrick on the yard next to me, but it actually pulled out of the same cavity of whatever? I don't. Like,
there's some kind of rules on it.
There's
but you'd also
interesting
probably
weird
have
questions.
to have, like, a geological study to prove that some of that reservoir is in your space.
If you're talking about oil in my yard, I'll pay for some geological studies.
Right.
I mean, that's what the There Will Be Blood was about.
Right. As I was just thinking about that scene. I have a big straw.
Yeah.
Suck it all out of your land.
And so, anyway, I don't know. Like, that's the question. Like, of course that's the fucking route. Of course it is. It would be too much to have anybody else, any other community in Knox County to be a part of it. It'd be too much to ask.
I mean, we're such a big city, it'd be really hard to try to stretch it in any other direction.
No, it's not. One, that's way less. Like, is it a mile? So is it a total of a mile? Is that the deal?
I think that's what some of the proposals.
So it's a half mile each way. So it's two tunnels running side by side, or is it one singular tunnel?
It's got to be some kind of loop.
Okay,
maybe. No, I mean I think you could do it big enough to basically have like a single lane in both directions.
No, the way the Nashville one is, it's like there is just enough pavement.
They're calling it a loop, yeah,
for the car to sit in it. And so there's only one way you can go, unless car goes one way and then it comes off and then the car goes the other way.
Right.
Like you can't so it's got to be two. It's either got to be two tunnels or they have it set up to go one at a time, one direction. From 8 to noon, it's going east-west. From noon to 4, it's going west-east. From 4 to 8, it's going east-west again. Like that's the only way you could do it if it's a single tunnel. With the way the tunnels that I've seen in Nashville are,
right.
They're literally barely bigger than the Tesla that runs through them.
Yeah.
And so if he's only willing to build, if the free deal is for a mile, that means it's a half a mile round trip, or it's a half a mile one way on a round trip. Now, if you're going to do a circle as opposed to like just a straight back and forth, where the total is a mile, if you're doing Market Square to campus, to the stadium,
that distance is right about a mile.
Right, but if you're doing a circle instead of a straight line, I don't know. It's probably less
Some
than
kind of
that.
loop, yeah.
It's probably, it might be a half a mile from Market Square to Nayland in a straight line. But you could do, I don't know. You could, the more logical, realistically, the more logical way to do it is going to be you go from some place that is more residential to a place that's commercial. So you go maybe to North Knoxville, where the apartment buildings are starting to go up on the north end of downtown, selfishly towards Happy Holler, into Market Square, because people live up there and want to come party downtown and then want to get back to up there. Like you go Old North Knox neighborhood to downtown, that's almost a full mile, give or take.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like that. Logically, you'd want to go. You don't want to go from commercial to commercial. Like that's literally what they're trying to pitch here. We're going to go from downtown Knoxville, which is a big commercial area, where people do like to congregate, and take them from a congregation place to a different congregation place. And actually, you know what? Fuck you. Do not do it. City of Knoxville, any roadblock you can throw up, because you know what this actually is? Ooh, I'm good.
It sounds like they're doing to more places that have the most amount of
entertainment district.
Parking
The
spaces.
entertainment district they're putting on top of the G10 garage. This is to get the city of Knoxville and the people that live in downtown Knoxville to get on this fucking thing and go hang out at the new UT profiting property instead of the city of Knoxville. Don't do it, city of Knoxville. Do not. Yes, you will. It's UT. You'll suck that dick. God damn it.
I mean, I doubt we're going to win the contest anyway.
Why not? Don't be a hater. I'm a hater.
I'm just looking at odds. I mean, I guess they've whittled it down to we're one of like 16 finalists, I think is what they're reporting.
Yeah, but we're good.
The odds are not in our favor.
But we'd be, like on the politics side of it, we'd be a great selection because of the complex politics of Knox County. This would be one that the Dems, the Democratic population of the city, would have to get on board with.
Yeah, but I don't think he's done it in Texas, and that's kind of his new kind of like home state where he's built some stuff. I think like he's built like his own like little city, little mini city. I think is what he was trying to build at one point. Or already has.
Oh, I would, since he quit doing Doge, he's stayed out of the news, and I've been fine with that. But I don't know. I don't know what he wants. I don't know what he's doing. Listen, I love the premise of the small tunnel. I love the premise of the small tunnel. I love the premise of this small action bore machine that he's got that's doing these tunnels. I think it's super cool. I think the Tesla part of it is super stupid. I think, and I was thinking when I was talking to the older one about this yesterday, I think I'm trying to you do some roller coaster technology. You go and get with a roller coaster company, and you put a train system in there, and you use some like the launch systems that they use in some of these roller coasters now. Obviously, You're not trying to throw it at 100 miles an hour up a steep thing,
right?
But you get some of these launch systems,
30 to 40. Yeah.
That can get you from standstill to 40, and I mean, depending on how long the run is, you could get up to I wouldn't say you would not do 80 miles an hour in one of these things. You just wouldn't go 0 to 80 in 3 seconds. You go 0 to 80 in a couple minutes.
You could do small enough enclosures where it's not completely open air.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like you do it like a little, like you going down to Dollywood and you're in a side by side roller coaster where it's it's like how many cars? You got like 10 cars with 4 people per car. 2 rows of 2, right? These roller coasters. You put them in there. Some sort of enclosed version of a like it's got a it's not open air like a regular roller coaster. I mean, honestly, to me, you go to me, the little bit more, the middle ground, a little bit more expensive, but more efficient and more useful would be you do a hanging coaster. So the track is on the ceiling. So you still have the flat floor in the tunnel, but the tracks are on the ceiling. So that in the case of repairs or whatever, you can drive a truck down there and get to the spot and do the work. Like, you don't have to, not everything that works the tunnel has to be a train that fits on the track.
Right.
You could just drive a normal vehicle down there for repairs and maintenance and stuff like that. But the train hangs from the ceiling, and you, just like a roller coaster line, you pile into it like a roller coaster. You sit side by side with a row of people. You get the belt on. Everything's cool. They close the doors. 60 miles an hour. Get to max speed, 60 miles an hour over like a 5-mile run. You get from Turkey Creek to downtown in 10 minutes. No traffic. Get out, walk up a couple flights of stairs, and you're in Market Square, or you're in the City County building. The amount of times I have to go to City County building, I would kill to park out here and just arrive at the City County building, get on an elevator, and go where I need to go in City County.
Right.
It'd be amazing. But I'm saying, like, the small tunnel premise I like. I think the small tunnel premise is pretty genius because it's cheaper to do. It's cheaper to build these tunnels, and it's just quicker. It's just quicker and cheaper and easier, and you could be more maneuverable with it. And you could do all these little spurs and splits and stuff like that without making a huge deal out of it. It's not a huge long. The Nashville one's operational, right?
Nashville?
Yeah, part of it.
No. They're still building it.
Oh,
I think they're still in the early stages of building.
How long did the Vegas one take?
I think they're still finishing off the Vegas one.
Oh, are they?
Or maybe it might still be working. They've got part of it that's functional. I don't think it's to its full extent of what they have planned.
I'd be curious how it compares.
Like that one is more like a loop where they have like multiple stops.
I'd be curious how it compares in cost to like a full subway system, because I feel like it would be significantly cheaper. Again, screw the Teslas. Get the Teslas out of the conversation. That part I hate.
I'd rather it be municipally owned.
Okay, I don't. That's sure. I'm not going to. 6 or half dozen to me. I'm not making that argument.
Yeah.
But, again, like, how do you make it valuable to the user? I can get the premise of the Tesla part because it's luxury, theoretically, but make it valuable to the user. Anyway, I don't know. I like it. I'm interested. I'm excited. I just hate if that's the actual path. I hope we don't win. I hope we lose that contest. KPD is finally at full strength. They have they are right at the number. It's a plus or minus kind of number, but they have enough cops now finally, because they make like $10 more grand a year than most teachers to start. But that's about all I got in the local news of the whatevers. You got anything else before we move on to other topics?
There's one story I sent you.
You sent me?
Yeah. That a new bill that was, I guess, proposing the state be allowed to take foster kids and put them into juvenile detention centers.
I mean, if you're going to have a 125-bed detention center that only ever has 20 kids in it, you got 100 beds that are doing nothing.
I think some of the story I read, sounds like it was more aimed at, quote unquote, troubled children.
I mean, I haven't read this. If you want to tell me more about it,
I don't think there was a whole lot of.
I could understand the thought process of saying every foster home we put this kid in, every orphanage or whatever version of housing we put this kid in, he's getting kicked out. The adults can't handle it. They don't want to deal with it. This kid's a problem.
Some of it, I guess, was the lack of, available foster kids. And were the stories that came out of kids sleeping in the cubicles of social workers.
Anyway, all right. So I'll WPLN. Tennessee could lock up foster youth in jail-like facilities under new bill. Research shows it's best practice to house foster kids with families or in communities, but a new bill at the Tennessee legislature would allow the Department of Children's Services to place some foster kids in a jail-like facility that are usually reserved for children who have committed crimes. Former foster youth Ella Bat-Ami said it would put more pressure on foster kids to be perfect. We don't get to make mistakes, she said. We don't get to have tantrums. We don't get to have bad days. We are not allowed to be children. Bat Ami wrote the Foster Care Bill of Rights that passed into law last year. She said that kids like her are living on a knife's edge. Getting into trouble could cost them their home, their foster family, and under a new proposal, their freedom. Foster children, quote, foster children are entitled to a childhood in the same way other children are entitled to a childhood, she said. It should not be a childhood with a sword of prison dangling over their heads. Headline, legislating violent behavior. Senator Jack Johnson, Republican from Franklin, and Willie Spiky Hair Lambert from Portland sponsored the measure, but it is an administration bill, meaning it came from the governor's office and the Department of Children's Services. At a hearing at the Capitol, DCS Legislative Director Jim Lehman explained why the department feels the change is necessary. Quote, we have an issue where we are receiving children into custody that are dependent and neglected. The court has ruled them dependent and neglected. Close quote. Lyman said kids placed in the child welfare side of DCS, quote, but their behaviors don't match what you would think of as abused or neglected or an abandoned child, close quote. He said these particular foster care kids are hard to find placement for. DCS Commissioner Quinn added that these youths are violent towards other kids or staffers, but are not punished. The lack of accountability, I think, gives rise to additional violent behavior within our facilities. I think it's unsafe for the youth who are vulnerable, and we need to put a stop to that. Incarceration as a solution. DCS has been under fire for years for keeping difficult-to-place youths in office building. This is what you were talking about. She said the mechanism to reclassify foster kids is unclear in this bill. It states that foster kids could be classified as children in need of heightened supervision because of violent behavior or a threat of violent behavior. And once a child has that classification, DCS could place them in the most secure jail-like facilities in the state, facilities that have barbed and cells that lock. And by choosing to keep foster kids in these facilities, the state could be risking at least $1 million in federal funding. There are a lot of federal incentives to keep young people in the community. Those federal incentives are aligned with research and best practices for children. Yeah, fuck. I'm losing my train of thought here. The antithesis of DCS's mission. While most of the bill addresses accountability for foster youth, the final section focuses on juvenile justice kids. It states that incarcerated kids is alleged to have assaulted a staff member of facilities can hold them for an indefinite period of time. Zoe Yamail is an advocate for children with the Ralph Institute. She said the section of the bill allows the companies getting paid to hold the children to decide how long to keep them. That's dirty gross. That's great for lining the pockets of private facilities, but it's bad for taxpayers, and most importantly, it's terrible for children. It's the antithesis of DCS's mission, close quote. She questioned why the state would grant facilities decision-making power. That I agree with. That's fucked up. So we're going to put you in jail for being hard to deal with. Foster parents don't want to deal with you. The orphanages and stuff don't have the means to keep up with your aggression, maybe, whatever. I can get the premise of being like that's a bed. You can sleep on the floor of the office, or you can go sleep in a bed. And it's a juvenile detention center, and the guards are going to watch you like they watch the other kids, but somebody's watching you at least. You're not on the street. It's something. You're going to get fed. You're going to have people that know how to handle kids around you. Maybe not in the best way, but at least know how to deal with children.
You're essentially jailing them without being convicted of any kind of crime. It's kind of setting like a weird... Yeah,
but that's what being a kid is. You're in jail of your parents' house anyway. But I don't know. I'm just kidding. But I don't know. It's a complicated solution here, but it's like, but realistically, Joe, John, whatever his name was down here earlier. He's not allowed to leave right now.
Right.
He can't walk out the house. Okay, his cell door isn't locked, per se. But he knows he ain't allowed to leave. Locked door or not.
I think you could be prosecuted if he's found.
Right. Again, it's not ideal. It wouldn't be my preference for how to deal with this, but it does seem like a semi-logical solution, especially when we have the formerly known as Richard Bean Detention Center over here that's got 100 and something beds in it that averages like 20-something kids a night. Maybe take a section and make it a little nicer. a little bit more comfortable and a little less jail-like, and house some of these kids there.
Yeah.
It's not ideal. It's not my preference. I would prefer a world where we didn't have a bunch of foster kids. That'd be great. And for the handful that we did had, we had cool, loving, awesome, great foster families that wanted to help out. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to be the way the world works. So we got to look around and see what we have available and what we can afford. And I don't know. I'd be curious to know some deepers on it. Like, I really like that idea that the especially with a dickhead like Richard Bean, who thankfully doesn't run it anymore, being like, well, this kid's been acting up, so he needs to stay here with us.
Right.
And he can say that repeatedly because he gets money. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. We've had this. I think, just to reiterate myself and how smart I am to everybody, in case they forgot, is I don't think private prisons are a bad idea. I think the incentives that the state sets up for private prisons are the bad idea. I have no issue with privatizing a lot of things. I think we should try to privatize more things, but you've got to be really intentional with the incentive structure for the private organization doing the thing that you want them to do.
Right.
Because if you're not real careful with that incentive, they could foster bad actions. If your incentive structure is built to deter bad actions and for best outcomes, then sure, privatize the shit out of it. I think private companies who are seeking profit, full stop, can do most things better than the government can. If the government can set up the contracts with private companies to do it with an incentive structure that is the best for the government, who is the customer. Like, so Jesse's podcast, not this week, but last week, he had I told you about this last week too. He got a copy. I don't know. I assume it was made public, but I don't know. He got a copy of the Core Civic quarterly earnings conference call.
Right.
And so it's like, like all these different things, and they're talking about all the business stuff on it, and it's gross. Don't get me wrong. It's gross. They're talking about product. They're using like product and margin terms for human beings, and it's nasty. I don't disagree with that. But at the end of the day, they are a immoral, profit-rearing entity. And if the customer, U.S. government, is going to pay them for doing bad things, then it's not their fault. It's the customer's fault. If the customer isn't going to punish them for doing bad things, then they're going to do bad things and make more money. It is still their fault. I'm not trying to completely absolve blame in my statement here. I'm just trying to say that, like, if the incentive is for them to do the worst version of the thing, because that's how they make the most money, you got to put a little bit of blame on the customer in that. It's the same problem I'm having, like all these, like, you've heard the BMW thing with the BMW seat warmers.
Yeah.
Like these kind of things, like the freak out that it happened, hopefully gets other car manufacturers to go, that's crazy, we ain't doing that. If you got seat warmers in your car, you have a button that turns the seat warmers on, not a subscription to your seat warmers.
Yeah.
Like, this whole thing that we've been pushing slowly towards for decades now, that is a problem, is that we rent everything. We don't own shit anymore. The capitalists are trying to, because they get it. Like, I fucking hate Microsoft right now because I can't just buy Microsoft Excel 2026 and then I have it until I want to upgrade it to a new one.
Right. You have to have
I have an annual subscription to my Microsoft Office software, and it's like, I don't fucking... What are you talking about? Why can't I own this thing? I don't want updates. I don't want changes. I don't want upgrades. Just give me the functional thing, and let me go on with my life. I could live happily with. I could live happily with Excel 98 right now, and do everything I do on a regular basis with Excel 98 and be perfectly okay. Now, there's part of it that I do get the software side on some level, because all these operating systems upgrade, and you have to do updates to the software so that it'll work on a new upgraded operating system. Right. I get that to some degree. But, like, the shit that John Deere does about making only their mechanics can do anything, like all these, like, it's all, the companies are doing it. They're testing the waters all over the different industries of how can we make you rent your existence. And some of it we jump into willingly because I love streaming TV. I would never go back to cable because streaming TV is way better. But I'm renting TV. But it's supposed to, well, I guess I was always renting TV.
Access to, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I always was too. When I had Comcast and regular cable, I'm renting TV in that sense too.
Right.
Because I'm paying a monthly, whatever. But so many things are trying to get us to get these little nickel and dime here and there. You know, you never own the thing. Like we joke about it. Like theoretically, you can own a car. You can't own a car nowadays. But like one of the big things that car lots like to do is just be like, hey, you bought that car 5 years ago. You're like, I'm not surprised I haven't gotten blown up because I've got 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 payments. Yeah, I got 2 more payments left on the 4Runner. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised the Toyota dealership hasn't started blowing me up yet. But hey, bring us that Toyota. Bring us that Toyota and we'll get you into a new one. And just continue your payment. Nothing changes for you. You're used to paying this X number of dollars a month for your payment. But you get the brand new car.
That's a lot of people are doing anyway.
Yeah. I'm saying, but that's
people that were upside down in their car, but still went out and got a new car.
I mean, I'm going to do it, but I'm not giving them the one back. I'm going to go buy a new Toyota, but I'm not going to give them my old Toyota to do it.
Yeah.
So they are going to keep collecting a check for me because I'm going to get a fucking big old truck, especially now that gas prices are fucking going through the roof. Like they're already up like 30 cents.
Really have. I've seen a little bit on it.
I don't know. We could stop right now and start an entire new episode, and I could spend an entire episode on international affairs right now in this crazy.
I say Burchett put out a statement that voters should, quote, stay concerned about Iran becoming forever war.
Burchett had another quote that was kick-ass. Can't remember who.
I mean, be concerned, be vigilant, hold our feet to the fire, keep us honest on that issue.
Get it, Tim. He laid into Lindsey Graham. That was the quote.
Not even threw in a ma'am.
Did you hear
that? Asked if voters should remain concerned even when it's Trump's decision, Burchett replied, absolutely, ma'am. Nobody is above reproach.
Hell yeah. Way to go, Tim.
Just don't tell the president I said that.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because like he was a quick quote. I don't remember who caught it, but it was something about he's like they asked him about Lindsey Graham said something. And they're like, Lindsey Graham said this about whatever. He's like,
he and some others have made it have equated it to a holy war, basically.
Oh, it's absolutely. He and a ton of people. Yeah. Well, the people that are perpetrating it are considering it as such. But Tim said that man will never find a fist fight that he doesn't want to turn into a nuclear battle or something like that. Yeah. Like it was something like he will never turn an argument. Lindsey Graham will never take an argument that he doesn't want to turn into a bombing campaign. And I was like, damn, Tim, you're going hard in the paint. I like it. I mean, hell, I got a lot of problems with you, Tim Burchett. I got a lot of issues with some of your stances on a lot of things. But if you're going to be a little bit flexible, I don't know. What did Tim did? I'm assuming Burchett voted against the War Powers Act this week. There's only a couple of there's only a couple of Republicans. Not Rand Paul. What's the guy from Kentucky? The good one.
Oh, Massey?
Yeah, Massey voted against it. Rand Paul voted against it in the Senate, or voted for the War Powers Act. There was like 2 Republicans in the Senate that crossed over, and then Fetterman and somebody else crossed over the other way, and so it came out as a wash, and the Senate didn't pass it, and then the House didn't pass it either.
Right.
And I can't remember. I don't remember other than Massey. I don't think any of the other Republicans crossed over in the House. So anyway, which button is it?
Spanish soccer team desperately seeking Madonna and her 36-year-old shirt.
Go on.
The ad just kind of was like, what? Spanish soccer team Celta Vigo is desperately seeking Madonna as it goes in search of a 36-year-old soccer shirt the pop star wore during a 1990 concert at its Balados Stadium. Madonna appeared on the stage wearing the club's true blue colors during her Blonde Ambition tour in July 1990. Let's see here. However, the whereabouts of the cherished garment are unknown, and after searching fruitlessly for decades, Celta is asking the 67-year-old Madonna to help find it for the club's archives.
Did they not ask her first?
I guess not. I don't know. Maybe they were just talking to her. I don't know.
I mean, I feel your pain, guys. I'm trying to get a hold of Dolly, and it's a hard hill to climb. Did you see they already started rolling out some of the Dolly stuff on Children's?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, some of it started coming out. Like some of the Children's Hospital commercials. It's out Dolly Parton's Children's Hospital. Dolly's awesome.
Center message, quote, "Do you have it? If you know where it may be, or if you would like to join us in the search to retrieve it, please contact us via private message."
I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes it works. You know, you just take a shot.
Don't know till you ask.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen any of this about the orphan macaque punch. Seen anything on it?
The orphan macaque punch? I think, maybe.
Yeah, that little primate that I guess was kind of rejected by some troop at the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up giving it a stuffed monkey. But I guess at some point he's now making friends and outgrowing his plushie, as they called it.
Well, good for him.
Yeah. He's finally starting to grow up and trying to make friends. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That one doesn't...
I kind of went viral for a minute. Of just like this cute picture of this tiny little macaque carrying around a stuffed animal monkey, basically.
So what do you think about the tree screaming thing? We'll fit it. That was kind of weird, my kid bringing up screaming trees.
I don't think I've heard anything about it.
I mean...
I think they communicate somewhat, like, chemically.
Right. The largest organism in most forests is a singular fungus that's all over all the root systems about all the stuff. And so there was a study that they took. They recorded the sounds of like a beetle of some sort, like chewing leaves, and they played it on one edge of the forest, and trees on the other edge started like excreting a chemical into their whatever, so their leaves would turn bitter, and then to discourage more eating.
I was thinking it was more just like a root system. I didn't know it was more biologically related of an algae or a fungus.
Yeah, it's some sort of fungus that's like all like it's I don't know, it's fungus, so it's weird. If that's not a sign of alien life, I don't know what is. Fungus seems pretty alien to me, but essentially, yeah, it's like a fungus that it would be. I think it technically would be considered one organism. That it's just all like it's all part of it's all within their root structures, and it goes through the dirt and connects to other root structures, and it's like it's all one continuous thing. I don't know. That was interesting. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how to deal with him sometimes. Like I like him. He's my kid. I love him. But like his like the way he presents things he sees online, and we've got him in like you've heard him say like he caveats himself a lot.
Right.
Like he's like, well, I saw online that this thing happened, and it's like I don't know how to deal with that, because like sometimes it's like neat stuff that's like, yeah, that's really cool, or that's true, like, yeah, that thing did happen in history, and some random YouTuber or whatever is doing a thing a bit on, you know, whatever. It's like I don't know how to deal with it, because some of it's more theoretical, like this screaming trees thing. Like he told me something earlier about like how like human beings give off light, very small amount of light, and our brains have just kind of turned that off from our visible spectrum. Not that it's not within our visible spectrum, but it's just our brains just like ignore it because we interact with it so much that it's not noticeable, or it doesn't need to be noticeable. So our brains are just like, I don't need to see that.
Can't say I've heard that one.
Yeah, I haven't either. And it's like, well, it doesn't make any sense though. It's like, well, if that's true, then we should be able to see that on video, right? We should be able to take a video that is non-discriminatory to our brain function, and then analyze that video and see it. And the video would see it, and then we could analyze the video, and the analyzation of the video would show us it.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of like spectrum it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm sure in like when you get out of the visible range, yeah, I'm sure there's stuff you like. I mean, you get into like IR, like infrared videos of people moving. Like there's a little bit of a glow,
Right.
but that's
heat
because
signature.
the heat signature is out. Like because we are a certain temperature and the air is a different temperature, that transition shows a little bit in the space between. So I don't know. It's just like I don't know how to handle it, and not in a mean way. It's just like I don't know how to.
I encourage to be more discerning.
Yeah, like you've got to.
Yeah, I know a lot of adults that are guilty of that shit.
Sure,
They just
absolutely.
take things at face value that they see.
These dipshits in Powell that are trying to argue against getting their school better.
It's getting harder with AI just putting out
I
shit.
know. The AI is the worst. Damn it. I'm doing it. I'm ending the show before you put me down a rabbit hole. Yeah, I was telling the missus about my proclamation. If the United States wins the World Cup, we are in a simulation. And Trump has hacked the algorithm, or the United States owns the algorithm or something. This is literally, this is the stuff that keeps us stupid, happy, circus, and bread and circus. Because there's no way it's real. Yeah, so anyway, almost in agreement. Also, you're gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, go to the website, almost in agreement. Check out what you're going there. April 14th, if you haven't marked your calendar, you should do it now. I've got to do a lot of work, and I'm really far behind. Almost in agreement. Gmail.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go to the website, almostinagreement.com. Go to your favorite podcast provider and like, friend, share, follow, text your friends. Do what you do to support the show. And we appreciate you all for listening. And we'll be back next week with more things and whatnot and who's it's. Kudos to Cat Bike. Fight the good fight. I'm sorry you got stuck. That was a rude place for your fellow board members to put you in. But you did the right thing, and I appreciate your support. All right, everybody, bye.